Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Giancarlo and this is Greenlight Car Reviews.
Oh my god.
Now, if you haven't noticed yet, today we're filming a very special car. We're filming the most powerful Mercedes right now that they sell. It is the Mercedes AMG GT 4-door 63S. I know it's a long name, but bear with me, it's a really powerful car. And you can see that it looks like a shark that's gonna come attack you straight out of the water. It personally looks amazing. You can't even get this as a normal Mercedes car. In normal Mercedes models, you have the normal model and then AMG is gonna take it and make a more sporty version of it. But this is an actual Mercedes AMG car, which means that it is a race car that's fitted to be on the road. Now, looking at this vehicle, you could see that it's very aggressive. You have these big lips in the bottom. You have this brand new, beautiful Panamericana grille with these massive vents in the bottom over here. And you even have these flaps in the bottom so that if the engine needs more air cooling, they're gonna open up and it's gonna feed more air into the engine. But if it doesn't need it, well, they're gonna stay closed for extra aerodynamic purposes. You get this nice curved hood that's very aggressive and looks nice. You have these beautiful 21-inch mags with carbon ceramic discs. Obviously, this is an option. These mags alone cost about $2,000 Canadian, and these carbon ceramics around $14,000 Canadian. But it looks really amazing. You also get this fan over here, which is fake. They added this for the look. Don't be fooled, I guess. But I find it looks nice, or else it would look kind of empty over here. And you get the information by Turbo 4matic. Now you get these beautiful carbon fiber mirrors on the side, both sides, which is also an option. This car specifically does not have the bottom carbon fiber pack, which would be the bottom slips in the front, on the sides, and the diffuser, but it has the top carbon fiber pack. So it has this, it has the wing in the back, and some more elements around the car. You obviously see that it is a 4-door and that the doors here are frameless, which is nice. And you see that it has that coupe shape that comes into the back. Now, I want to say one thing. If you look at the vehicle on this angle, you can obviously see that it somewhat looks like a Panamera or a Porsche from this angle. And I've spoken to a lot of people and they all see that similarity. And it's kind of interesting because the Porsche Panamera Turbo S or the GTS is actually the main competitor of this vehicle. Now, looking at the back of it, you can see this beautiful carbon fiber wing. Now, the normal car does not come with this. It has a wing that will open up if you need it, but this is an option as well. And I find it looks good, but you can't put it down. It is fixed over here. Now you can see the logos GT63S, these beautiful LED lights, and the diffuser in the back, which looks truly incredible. And they're actually real exhaust pipes. They're not like those fake ones that there's nothing in the back. These are the tips, but you could see that there's actually an exhaust inside that is functional, not like a lot of Mercedes cars where there's a fake exhaust. And here you can see this beautiful diffuser with all of the air intakes over here to let all the air flow and give more G-force to the vehicle. Also over here, these vents on the side, you might think that they look fake, but you actually get some holes over here, and the air is going to come in the back of the wheels, in the back wheels, and they're going to come out over here to give it some extra aerodynamic effect. And I want to take another moment just to show you the attention to detail that they put into this car. If you look over here on each exhaust tip, you see that AMG logo. You see this beautiful piece over here that's part of the diffuser that just comes beautifully, and you have this little space over here, and it just looks so amazing. I literally could spend hours just sitting and looking at this car and admiring every little detail that they've put on it, and it's truly a phenomenal thing. Now, you'd be surprised, but this car is actually kind of a hatchback. The only thing I don't like is this button to open it is all the way down here, which is a bit weird because you have to get low, but it is pretty big in the back. You get a lot of space. You could fit your golf clubs in the back easily. But one thing I have to say is there's a big gap over here from the inside to the outside. So let's say you have to take something really heavy and pull it out, you're gonna have to lift it a lot to try not to scratch the vehicle, which might hurt your back, I guess. It is very, very big. You also get some extra space over here in the bottom if you wanna put some more stuff. Now, you can fold down the back seats. This has the executive pack with 4 seats instead of 5, which means you can only fold down the seats on each side and the middle section will always stay up. You get some extra space, but obviously it sucks that you can't put it all down, but that executive seat option is an option. So if you don't want that and you want the extra space, you can choose not to take it. Also, these extremely rough, hard tires are Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires. You know it's impressive when you say Pilot, Sport, and Coupe in the same word. And that means that these things are not going anywhere. They're gonna keep you on the road at high speeds. Ow. Even if you're going really, really fast. Also, it is a very, very, very hot day today. I've literally put blood, sweat, and tears to make this video. I've cut myself. I'm sweating like crazy. And I cried a little bit when I launched this car. So I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Okay. And now we come to the best part of this vehicle, the engine. Now, obviously this is an AMG engine, so if you look over here, you could see who exactly made it. Mr. Hans-Georg Kissinger. Very, very, very good gentleman, because this car performs like a beauty. Mwah. And I have to say, this is incredibly powerful. It has 639 horsepower, and you can really feel that right away. There's also 2 turbos, which is really interesting because I love the sound that it makes. Every time that you're accelerating, you hear that psh from the engine, from the turbos, and it's just amazing. And you do not get a lot of turbo lag. Although this is a really heavy car, it just goes off the line really quickly because of that massive engine, and it just sounds amazing. We're gonna show you after, we're gonna drive it around, and you're gonna see just what I mean. But I have to give Mr. Kissinger a shout out for this engine. Thank you so much, sir. I really did enjoy it. Now, to film how big the back seats of this cars are, we have our friend over here. Our 6'4", 600-pound friend that was here in the last video. I don't know if you guys saw him, but let's check it out. Let's do the airtow test. Dun, 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 dun. Now, does he fit? Yes, he fits. You see, this has the executive seats. So with the executive seats, you can see on the top, there's an extra space. It's like a little bump, I guess, but like an inverted bump that allows him to sit properly. In the normal version, he would probably not fit. But with these executive seats, you get an extra few inches on the top, which make him pretty comfortable. You also get enough space in the front. Are you comfortable, Erto?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Now, with the executive option, in this vehicle with the 4 seats, you obviously get, instead of a seat over here, you get this beautiful console with some space over here with some extra USB ports, some cup holders. The only thing I don't like is this is piano black, and as you can see, it scratches really easily. I hate piano black. But the main part is this beautiful screen over here. Now, if you swipe up over here, you're gonna access this AMG screen. Let me swipe up. And you can access different options. So you can look at the performance of the vehicle and see all of the statistics of the person that's driving it in the front. And you can go like this. If not, what you can do, if I go back into home, you can look at all the vehicle options. So you can change the ambient lighting from the back. You could go into the media and put the music over here. And you can even fix all of your information for the AC if you want the temperature to change differently. Over here, the ionization of the car. So you get a bunch of options, and I think that's pretty cool. You can even change the volume of the sound. And this is what I was saying before. So you can drive this in different ways. You can even sit in the back and act as if this was an S-Class and be chauffeured while you're driving everything. Now, these cup holders are pretty cool. If you press over here, you have this little buttons that allows you to cool down your drink or heat it up. It's like a little fridge. So if you want to have a coffee over here and keep it hot, you put it in here, and this little button will allow you to keep it hot. Or if you have a cold drink, it's going to be like a fridge and it's going to keep it cold. And that's a really cool touch. Like I said, it's like an S-Class in the back and a GT in the front, which is completely amazing. I think they really created a different niche of a car that wasn't really known before with all of this included. And I find that you can't ask more out of a car. You have literally everything that you want. You have performance, you have comfort, you have luxury, and it's a Mercedes. Now, inside this vehicle, you can see that Mercedes really did not cheap out, which they shouldn't have, because it is a very expensive vehicle. But you get these nice Alcantara effects over here. You get all of this in Alcantara, the steering wheel in Alcantara. The only thing about the steering wheel is if you do get the Alcantara steering wheel, I find that after using it for a long time, it gets like shiny. You see that on a lot of cars, and it doesn't look as good as it did at the beginning, but it's fine. If you're not keeping the car for long, I guess you don't care about that. I like that you don't get a lot of piano black besides over here and in the back of the vents, and you do get this beautiful carbon fiber interior trim over here and over here, which is an option as well. You could get other stuff too. The only thing I find that looks a bit cheap is this like metal aluminum over here. I would have preferred this to be maybe something else. You don't have a lot of options for this, which I would have hoped that they had. Besides that, everything looks good. This is obviously the 2019 model, because you could see that this is not the touchpad. You have this little roulette, but I find that, to be honest, it works better than the touchpad. I don't like the touchpad at all. And you have this over here to control if you want to put it in drive or reverse. The only thing I don't like is this park button, which is kind of hard to access. I guess it's made to put your thumb on it if you're like this, but besides that, it's really hard to access if you just want to press it. Now, all of this comes from the GT, because this is the same car as the GT, but in a 4-door version. So the way they did it is the bottom part of it is the GT. And this is actually based on an 8-cylinder engine. So there's 8 cylinders in this car, which is why there's 4 here, in a V-way. This is to replicate kind of the engine that's in this vehicle. You also get the top of like an E63 and an S-Class. So they kind of mix those two. And I think this is really the sweet spot between the power of a GT and the comfort of an E63 or an S-Class. So you get this big, massive infotainment screen over here, these beautiful headlights that light up at night. You get the beautiful LED lights all around the vehicle, and you get this beautiful steering wheel. To be honest, this Mercedes steering wheel is probably my favorite steering wheels out of all cars, all models combined. I really like this little roulette over here, or whatever you want to call it, which allows you to change the modes. You get a lot of modes. You get slippery, individual, which allows you to set all of your settings that you want to set yourself. Let's say you want to adjust it, you could put it either, you can change the drive, the transmission, the dynamics, suspension, exhaust system. One thing I find really cool is if you put in dynamics, you have basic, advanced, pro, or master. But let's be real here, I keep it a master because I'm a master. And then you get, so that's your individual setting, you get comfort, sport, sport plus, and race. I usually drive it either in sport plus or comfort. You do not get an eco mode, but what's cool is if you're driving slowly in the city or on the highway, 4 of the cylinders are actually going to shut down and you're only going to be driving a 4-cylinder car, which is going to help you with the gas consumption. To be honest, it does burn a lot of gas. We checked it out, and the way we've been driving it, yes, we've been pushing a lot, but you do around 20 liters per 100 kilometers. I don't know how much that is miles per gallon, but it's a lot. It really is a lot. It's not a very good thing, but we've been pushing it a lot, and you don't really buy this car for its fuel economy, you buy it for its power. Besides that, you get this little cluster over here to allow you to change different modes. So you can press on it actually to change what you want to see on the display. If you want to put your exhaust, for example, and then you can turn it on or off with like this. And same thing here. So if you want to put the transmission into manual, you just press it like that. Then for this part, I just find there's a lot of buttons and it's kind of complicated. This allows you to touch the screen over here and change all the modes. Sometimes it doesn't work that well. You're going to try to switch and it's just not going to switch. This one is to fix the display over here. Then for the cruise control, this I found was the most complicated part of the vehicle. So if you want to put your cruise control on, you have to press the on button. Then you have to choose the speed at which you want to put it at. Then you have to choose the distance if you want to put it to follow the car in front of you. But then if you want to put it into the autopilot mode, because this car has kind of an autopilot mode, you have to press the button over here on the left side completely. It's not even on the steering wheel anymore. And you have to press the button over here. It's like a little steering wheel to put the autopilot on, and then you have to press this one so it follows the lines. It does work really well, I have to say. Even if you change, you put your flasher, it's going to change gears for you, and it works well. I just find that's a lot of buttons to put the cruise control on. As in other cars, you just press 1 or 2 and that's it. Besides that, I really like all of this metal. These gear shifters are really, really good quality. All of this is good quality, easy to use. You get these beautiful Burmester surround system speakers. This is not the augmented sound system, so it's the base one, and it really, really sounds good. You get heated seats. Here you have the sports bucket seats, so this is an option as well. And one thing I find weird, but I understand also, is you get this button to fix the headrest, but there is no headrest because it's all one piece. So what they did is they just kept the same button from the base model without these seats, and they didn't change any of that, which is kind of boring. Here you have all the same options as you do on the steering wheel to change all of the modes of the car. All of this is touch, and you just press it and it changes. Here there's one that's empty because of that rear spoiler in the back. So the spoiler is fitted, which means you don't need this button, but this button would have lifted and put down the spoiler on the base model of the car. Then all these buttons here are to control, let's say, your AC, everything. But besides that, everything is going to be controlled into the screen. You get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. You get access to media. The navigation is probably one of the best I find in all the cars I've been in. Apple CarPlay Android Auto works really well. The only thing is Android Auto, for some reason, does not take up the entirety of the screen. It only takes out a part. Then you get a bunch of information about the vehicle. Like I said before, this is a race car that's made to go on the road. So you get a bunch of information. You get track pace that allows you to racetrack only, see all of the information about the car. Let's say you're on a track, you can test the drag races. You can put in a track and it's going to tell you your time and a bunch of information like that. Then obviously the best part of this car, I find, and the whole reason why I think you should buy it, let's just go back over here, is the light settings. So you get crazy ambient lighting in here, and you can choose literally any color that you want. I find that the best color, if you want it to be really bright, is purple sky, and you're going to see it all around the vehicle. Right now it's in the day, but you can't really see it, but it is extremely bright. You have it all around, and honestly it just looks amazing. And what I like about this car is that I find that you get 3 types of vehicles while driving it. So during the day, it's just a normal car. It drives comfortably. If you're in the city, it'll shut off 4 cylinders and it'll be good. Then if you want to drive it fast, you're on an open road, you pop it into race, and it's a completely different monster. The engine starts roaring and it's incredibly fast. And then at night, it's like if you're driving an S-Class. You have these beautiful lights, completely comfortable, and you feel like you're in like a Liberace kind of museum, and it looks pretty cool. Now coming to this screen over here, you are able to customize it as you wish. If you go over here, you can choose the designs of the screen, and then you have Super Sport, which is the one I am in now, or Sport, or Classic. It's going to change all of the different modes. Then once you're in this, in the middle, you can decide what you want to put. If I want to put my media, and then you can switch on the right side if you want to put, let's say, the G-force, the boost, or your tire pressure, anything, any information you want. You can even have the map in there. And I find that it's cool that you can customize all that. Obviously, it's easy with all these beautiful screens to just customize everything that you want. The only complaint I have about this interior is the plastic over here. You're spending over $200,000 on a car, and I find that they didn't have to cheap out on this and just make it all plastic. Everything is just cheap plastic. And I don't know, I find that's a bit cheap for Mercedes. They could have put something nicer and completed it. You also get this beautiful sunroof over here that you can open up. Everything's gonna open up and it looks nice. And all this Alcantara on the top looks very good. And you have these speakers, these speakers on both sides. So if you're speaking on Bluetooth on the phone, it's gonna hear you and the passenger clearly. But now that we've been through all of this, let's go drive this baby. All right, everybody, so we are gonna attempt doing the launch control on the AMG GT 63S.
Let me just remove that.
This is gonna be, well, I guess it's gonna be something big. Everything's off, everything's on race, sport. Let's do this.
Oh my god. Oh my god. And he also said,
it said 3.7, right? Is it just me? It said 3.7. We could do, that's slow.
That's slow. It's supposed to do like 3.1.
Yeah, like something like that.
So
like
I think you have to
3.1, 3.2. I'm gonna redo it.
Oh, that was great.
That one was fast.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
One more time.
You see the red? Oh my god. Oh, nice shift, bro. Oh.
So, okay, one more time. I think we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it.
Oh my god.
What? How did it do 3.6? Okay, guys, we're gonna. One more?
I take one more.
One more, and then we're done. I promise we're done. So I did get more speed out of the manual transmission. My shifts, you see guys, this is why I told you I was an expert. I shift better than a Mercedes car. I shift better than a Mercedes car. That tells you a lot.
I'm sorry.
No, but I have to say, I shift better than a Mercedes vehicle, German automotive.
So you do think you're a pilot?
Now, we're gonna drive this car around a bit. Maybe we'll try it again later. But if we're gonna drive it around, I wanna show you guys something cool. So if you go into the vehicle over here and you go into dynamic select, you could go engine data, or actually I like the dynamic data. So dynamic data, you have all the information about the torque of the vehicle, the horsepower that you're using, and the boost.
And then you can also see the G-force.
Yeah, the G-force of the vehicle that's applied. Now, one thing, you do get air suspension as standard with this vehicle, and it does work really well. You can raise or lower the suspension depending on which mode you're on, or it'll do it automatically for you. One thing I find, especially if you have it on a race, for the roads that we're on right now, there's not that many bumps, but you do feel practically everything. But the sound is just really, really good. The only thing is, because of the new regulations, and I was telling him this before, a car like this with 639 horsepower 5 years ago would have sounded 10 times as loud. It would have been completely crazy, the sound you would get from it. But you do get those pops and crackles, especially if you're downshifting or driving between 4,000 and 5,000 RPM. You hear those, I don't know if you guys can hear, you hear those crackles and pops, and it just sounds really good. But besides that, it's really good to drive. The rear wheels of this vehicle will turn to help you on the handling, because this is a really long and heavy car. So you obviously don't get the handling as you would, for example, in the Giulia Quadrifoglio that I reviewed. But because of those rear tires turn
opposite direction when you go over 100.
Exactly. Okay, so let's rephrase that. So they turn the same speed, the same side under 100. Over 100, they turn the opposite side to give you more handling. But honestly, right now, this is a four-wheel drive car, right? So you could drive this year-round. The owner of this vehicle actually drives it year-round, winter, summer. We're in Canada over here, so the winter's pretty rough and it does pretty well. And one thing I have to say is,
you can feel it when you turn it.
You can feel it. Right now, I have everything off. I have no traction control, no stability control. Literally, every setting is off. And I get an incredible amount of grip. And you do not slide at all. Although you get 639 horsepower, if those tires are warmed up, you can go and you can take the corners, and it's just, there's no stress about it, to be honest. Now, all of this is obviously not cheap. To buy the base model of this car, it's going to be around $180,000 Canadian. But this model, particularly with all the options that you've seen, is going to be $3,000 Canadian plus tax. So it's not cheap, but then again, you really get everything. Like, you get a sports car and a daily driver in the same vehicle, which is kind of a bargain if you think about it. In conclusion, this is probably the best vehicle, all-around vehicle on the market right now, I find. All around car.
Let's say, I'm gonna say yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Because I find that, like we said, you get that power, that extreme amount of power, but you also get that eco-friendly type vibe during the day with the 4 cylinders. Yes. You get that Mercedes sound with those pops and crackles. You get incredible luxury. Then you get back seats that are like an S-Class. You get those crazy lights. You get this big screen with the infotainment.
You even have an infotainment in the back.
You even have the infotainment in the back. You have that little fridge in the back, like with the cups, that allows you to keep your cup cold or warm. Like,
come on, guys.
What else can you ask out of a car? Like, if anyone complains about this vehicle and says that it's not good enough for some specific reason, you're a hater. You're a hater. I'm sorry, bro, but like, you can't not like this car. You can't. And compared to a Panamera Turbo or a Panamera GTS, Preferably, I prefer Mercedes interior. I prefer how this looks. I prefer the infotainment, this big screen, the lights. I just think it makes you feel more special. You know, you're driving this, you feel like you're $1 million. It's just such a good feeling.
I'm in the car right now, and all you can see on my face is smiling. I'm smiling.
All we've been doing is smiling for the last 2 days.
We're like, come on.
And everybody that looks at it is smiling. Anyways, guys, I just want to thank you all for watching this video, and if you watched the other videos, thank you also. The support is incredible. None of this would be possible if you guys wouldn't watch the videos. If you guys liked this video and you liked this car, tell us what you think in the comments. Like, subscribe, ask us any questions if you have some. Also, let us know what cars you want to see in the future, and let us know if you believe that this is the best car, or if you prefer the Panamera Turbo or a Porsche or another vehicle compared to this.
But for me, it's gonna be the AMG GT.
Yeah, me too. For me, it's gonna be this car. But if you guys have something to say, please let us know in the comments. Thank you, everybody. Thank you to the person that lent us this vehicle. We will never forget the person that lent us this vehicle, because it was amazing. This weekend was truly an experience. And once again, thank you, everyone. And should we do one more launch? One more. Quick.
Like, subscribe,
and
comment. Oh my God.
3.4. Which was before 3.3? Anyways, ciao. Thank you.